Hey guys, welcome to today's reading lesson. If you don't have it already, make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil for writing. We're going to start off the math video by watching something, and then we're going to work out some problems ourselves. So, you don't have to write any of this down yet. So just sit back and listen, and make sure you do have paper and pencil ready for when we do need it.
You can use a 10 frame to show an addition fact with 5. How would you show 5 plus 3 equals? Start with 5. How can you show 5 in the 10 frame? Put 5 counters in the top row. Then add 3 more. Look at the 10 frame now. How many counters are in the top row?
Select your answer.
How many counters do you see on the top row? Not the bottom row, just the top row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 counters on the top row.
There are 5 counters in the top row. How many counters are in the bottom row?
How many's on the bottom row? 1, 2, 3.
There are 3 counters in the bottom row. How many counters are there in all?
Okay, remember in all means all together. How many are there in all? That means we're adding all of them together, the top row and the bottom row. So how many do you see all together? We know there's 5 on the top row, but let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the bottom row, 6, 7, 8. So we counted 5 plus 3 is 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8.
There are 8 counters in the 10 frame. So 5 and 3 more are 8. How does the 10 frame help you see the addition fact 5 plus 3 equals 8? It breaks the sum up to show 5 and 3 more. How does making 5 help you use a 10 frame? Making 5 in the 10 frame makes it easier to see how many more are needed to make 10. It is easier to look for empty frames in one row than in 2 rows. The 10 frame shows another addition fact. You have 8. Make 10. 2 boxes are empty. Add 2. When you add 2, you make 10. How does the 10 frame help you see the 10 fact?
Well, it shows us that our 8 dots that we had before, 8, and 2 more dots gave us 10 altogether. So 8 and then 2 more give us 10 altogether. If we count all of these, we get 10 because this is a 10 frame. So we know there's always 10 altogether. So that means 8 plus 2 equals 10.
It breaks the number up to show how many more make 10. 8 plus 2 more is 10. How does the 10 frame show 8 plus 2 equals 10? There are 8 red counters and 2 empty spaces, which is 10 altogether. So 8 plus 2 equals 10. Now you have learned how to show addition facts on a 10 frame.
Awesome. Okay, so now you want to make sure you have your piece of paper ready because we're going to be writing some problems. Make sure you have your name on your paper, and then at the top of your paper, this is math, so we have math, and then the date, which is 5-12-2020. We'll just put 20. 5/12/20. May 12th, 2020. Right here. Math, 5/12/20. So pause the video if you need more time. I think you guys are pretty quick about this now. Math 5/12/20. Okay, so you pause the video, wrote that down. Now let's go to one of our first questions. Let's call this question, because it's not number one. Number one's on the next page. Let's put a star next to this question. This is going to be our star question. All right, put some counters on the bottom row of your 10 frame. What addition equation can you write to match the counters? Okay, so they want me to put some counters on the bottom row. They don't tell me how many, so I get to choose how many I want. Let's put one here and one here. I'll just put 2 more. Okay, so now what is this telling us? What equation is this showing us? Well, how many is on top? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is on top. So I'm going to have 5 in my equation, plus how many more are we going to add to it? How many did I add to my 10 frame? I added 2 more, right? That's the number I chose. So 5, and then I added 2 more. Now this equal sign wants us to figure out the sum, which means the answer, the number all together. We're going to add it all together. So what is this row plus these 2 guys equal? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means 5 and 2 more equals 7 all together. 5 plus 2 equals 7. So on your paper for our star problem, you want to have this equation on there. 5 plus 2 equals 7. And pause the video if you need more time, because we're about to go to problem number 1. 5 plus 2 equals 7. All right. Okay, look at the 10 frames. Write an addition fact with 5, then write an addition fact for 10. So let's focus on our addition fact with 5 first. Let me get my little pencil. Okay, so my addition fact for number 1, and you can put a 1 on your paper. Right, number 1. Okay. You do not have to draw this 10 frame, but there will be some 10 frames I want you to draw. But number 1, you don't have to draw your 10 frame. Okay, so what if we want to write an addition fact with the number 5, with 5 involved, what could our addition fact be? Well, we know it starts with 5 because they want us to use 5. 5 plus what gives us 9 all together. So we already know the answer is 9. If we add all these up, we get 9. So 5, which is on the top row, 5 plus how many more gave us 9? So look at the bottom row. How many is on the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that number has to go here, right? Because 5 was on the top, and that's where we got this 5 here. 4 is on the bottom, that's where we got this 4. And then added all together, we get 9. So 5 plus 4 equals 9. That was a part of our addition fact with 5. But that's only half the problem. They want us to now figure out an addition fact with 10. So let's get rid of some of these lines. So we have 5 plus 4 equals 9. And now we have to figure out an addition fact for 10. See here, they want us to figure out something we can come up with that makes 10. Well, we see that how many dots are in here already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's where they got the 9. 9 plus what equals 10? Well, we know the 10 frame holds 10. So how many blank spaces are there? There's this one blank space, right? So 9 and then one more where that blank space is would be 10. So 9 plus one more equals 10. So we put our 1 here. So we have 9 counters plus 1 empty space. That would give us 10 if we put something in that empty space. So on your paper, you want to put both of these equations for number 1. You want to put 5 plus 4 equals 9, and you want to put 9 plus 1 equals 10. And pause the video, because it might take you some time, because I'm about to go to number 2. All right, for number 2, write 2 on your paper. Let's see. So same thing. We're going to look at the 10 frame. First we're going to do is write an addition fact with 5. Okay, so write an addition fact with 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top row. That's where we get the number 5. And then how many is on the bottom row? 1, 2. So 5 counters plus 2 more counters equals how many altogether? 5, 6, 7. 7. 5 plus 2 equals 7. 5 and 2 more counters gave us 7 altogether. If you want, you can go ahead and pause the video and just write that part down for now, because we're about to do the second part of our problem for number 2. So now it wants us to write an addition fact for 10. Okay, so we know 10 frame has how many spots available? 10. 10 frames have 10 spots all together. All these little squares make up 10. So what's our first number for our equation? Well, how many dots are there altogether? We know there's 7 dots altogether, right? 5, 6, 7. And then how many more would we need to add to make 10? We have 7. And then how many blank spaces do we have that need to be filled in to make 10? 1, 2, 3. So I'll put 3 here. So that means 7 counters plus 3 more spaces would give us 10. So 7 plus 3 equals 10. So both of these little equations need to be on your paper. 5 plus 2 equals 7, and 7 plus 3 equals 10. We were able to figure out 2 different equations that we created just by looking at this 10 frame. 10 frames can tell us a lot of information. All right, I'm going to go to number 3. All right, so both of these should have been written down on your paper. Let's go to number 3. Okay, so for number 3, write 3 on your paper. Okay. I want you to go ahead and draw a 10 frame. You don't have to use boxes if you can't figure that out, but you do need to make sure you draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles on the top part of your paper and 1 underneath them. So 5 and then one more, and then maybe you can go ahead and draw your box around that with the lines. But there should be 10 boxes altogether, right? 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. So go ahead and pause the video to take a minute for number 3 to draw your 10 frame. There should be 5 on top, 5 on bottom, and then how many circles in the top row? 5. And how many circles on the bottom row? Just 1. So go ahead and make that 10 frame and then unpause the video. Okay, so for number 3, the instructions say, look at the 10 frame, write an addition fact with 5, then write an addition fact with 10. So let's focus on the first part, 5. How many dots or counters on the first row? Top row, I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where we got 5. How many counters are on the bottom row? Just 1, right? So 5 plus 1 more gives us how many counters altogether? What does that equal? 5 plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. So your answer will be 6. 5 plus 1 equals 6. We just created an equation, an additional fact using the number 5, all from this one 10 frame. Now let's make an addition fact for 10. Right here, 10. Well, 10 is how many spaces there are altogether in the 10 frame. So what's our first number going to be? What part of 10 are we going to write down first? Well, how many counters are there altogether? We know from this problem that there are 6 altogether. So 6 plus how many more gives us 10? Well, how many blank spaces did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 counters plus 4 more would give us 10. So if we added 4 more counters in here, that would give us 10, right? So we had 6, we add 4 more, and that gives us 10. So make sure you write 5 plus 1 equals 6, and 6 plus 4 equals 10. And because you drew that 10 frame, I'm not going to make you draw the next one. All right, guys, let's go to number 4. All right, you know what we're doing first? We're writing an addition fact with 5. So how many is on the top row? 5. How many is on the bottom row? 2. So 5 counters plus 2 more counters equals how many altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 altogether. 5 plus 2 equals 7. Good. So there are 7 counters altogether. Now we want to write an addition fact for the number 10 because we know there could be 10 counters. But how many do we have right now? We only have 7 counters right now. So how many more would we need to make 10? 7 plus how many more gives us 10 counters? We would need 1, 2, 3 more. We would need 3 more counters because there's 3 blank spaces. So 7 plus 3 more would give us 10. So go ahead and write your equations down. 5 plus 2 equals 7, and 7 plus 3 equals 10. All right. We are on number 5. And guess what? You get to do number 5 all by yourself. So let's start with part 1. Okay, write an addition fact with the number 5. So they already put one number right here, right? That's how many's on the top row. So now you got to write in the rest of the numbers on your paper. 5 plus what equals how many altogether? So write down your equation for 5. 5 plus what equals how many? So 5 counters plus how many on the bottom row, and then that equals how many altogether. Then you're going to count all of them together. And pause the video if you need more time to write this down, because you can take all the time you need. All right, so you just wrote 5 plus something equals something. So 5 counters plus how many more equals how many counters altogether that are on here. Now you need to write an addition fact with 10. So you need to do the second part now. You write what plus what equals 10. And remember, you want to count, you want to start with how many counters there already are altogether. So how many counters plus how many more would give you 10. So go ahead and do that. All right, so if you need more time, please pause the video. I'm going to be checking your answers to see how you did. You should have 2 different answers. The 5 plus blank equals blank, and the blank plus blank equals 10. If you want, you can circle your answers, but that's up to you. Okay, let's try out one of these and then we can be done for today. Using 2 colors, draw counters in the 10 frames to match the addition equations. Then write the missing numbers. Ooh, okay, I'm going to need y'all's help for this one, okay? So make sure you say out loud. So let's start with one color, the color red. So what is this telling us? How many counters should I start with? 7, right? You see the number 7? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 7 counters. You'll have to excuse the messy counter over here. Let me try that again. Okay, so I have 7 counters, and you can count them to make sure. So that's what the 7 is. 7 plus what equals 10? Oh, well, we know how to do this, right? We just need to fill in the blank spaces. 7 plus how many more will give us 10 altogether? How many more did we add on? We added 1, 2, 3 counters, right? So we added 3 more counters, and that's going to give us 10 in our 10 frame. So everyone say 7 counters plus 3 more counters equals 10. 7 plus 3 equals 10. All right, so maybe you can help me solve this one a little bit quicker. Let's start off with our red counters again. Okay, here we go. How many red counters do I need to put in here? What's the equation telling us? 9, right? All right, count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I had my 9 counters. Now, how many more counters do I need to add to make 10 altogether? Because right now I only have 9, and I want this 10 frame to be filled up. So let's add 1 to the blank. Oh, but there was only 1 blank space, right? So how many more did we add in there? We only added 1 more, didn't we? Just 1. So 9, everyone say 9 counters plus 1 more counter equals 10 counters all together. So now we can say 9 plus 1 equals 10. All right, good job. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. If you have questions, please let me know at the afternoon meeting or the morning meetings, just let me know. But if you have any questions, you can always rewatch this video. That's why it's good that they're all on YouTube. So if you get confused, you can just rewind it and start all over. But please let me know if you have questions, and then please take a picture of your work that you just did and send it to me. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys later.